It's a glorious late spring evening here in Ballintotis as we welcome you to the second running of the Ballintotis Community Council 4-mile road race in association with East Cork Athletic Club and Ballycotton Running Promotions. And already preparations well underway for the big race later on this evening here. The voluntary effort has been absolutely fantastic. People coming together from right around the community in the last couple of weeks. And many of the faces you see now are from the local community as they head out on the non-competitive walk, which gets underway about 90 minutes ahead of the big race here this evening in Ballintotis. Temperatures soared to 17, 18, even 19 degrees at times here this afternoon as final preparations were being made. And the people that have gathered here this evening have done so in short sleeves as they set out on what is a very scenic 4-mile course. From a running perspective, certainly it would be pretty flat and certainly great stretches in it that you can make up time. Thus we're expecting some really good times here this evening in the race itself. But it's just after 6:30 now, an hour and a half before the start of the race, as these walkers set out on their way. Behind them the crowds are already beginning to gather, and the entry desks have been opened here since around 6:15 this evening. People gathering and mingling. Many new faces that weren't involved here 12 months ago in Ballintotis are here this evening, and indeed many people that were returning again, having been really delighted with what they saw in the inaugural running of this fixture. Of course, it's a race that used to take place before in Castlemartyr, but East Cork AC moving the race just along the N25, and it now has become a fundraiser for Ballintotis Area Community Council as they hope to build a new community centre in the not too distant future. And here we see Joey Ford, that great competitor from Blarney and Escarra, just setting the event on its way. Jory just passing the school and moving on past the castle here in Ballintotis, two of the great landmarks in the local area. The course located just off the N25, and here's the start line, just a couple of hundred metres from where the runners will finish. They'll pass the finish line on their way out. That's Dan McCarthy, the president of the East Cork Athletic Board, setting them on their way. It's a high quality field here again this year in Ballintotis. Included amongst them is the man you see out in front already, James McCarthy of East Cork AC, who recorded 1954 12 months ago to win the fixture here, and in the process carry off a mountain bike as top prize. And that's up for grabs again this evening for the opening for the first man and first lady. Both bicycles kindly sponsored by Trabolgan Holiday Centre as the runners come past the church here. This will be the finish line a little later on. Huge gathering just outside the church, and a huge field numbering well in excess of 500 runners setting out on their way. That's Alan Kelly from Middleton AC just passing on his way there. But up front, James McCarthy has already turned the first corner, and he's meeting what I suppose is the only considerable climb in the race, and then climb up towards the hill inside the opening quarter of a mile in this race. Behind them, the mass ranks in the fields. They've come from right around the county and farther afield, in fact, from Waterford, Limerick and Kerry this evening. Runners coming wearing their club vests, and some of them indeed participating in a race for the very first time. Many locals as well taking part here. It's Colm Jordan of Middleton AC just passing by there in the middle of the field as we see the runners making their way up the hill here. As we said, it's a testing start to the race, but after about the first third of a mile, certainly it levels out. Paddy Daly, one of the great competitors on the cocksocket, just moving through there. Pretty packed field, as we said, but up front a bit of space developing. Sanders Ballintotis of West Waterford is the man that's keeping James McCarthy company as they come around and go down a little incline. Inside the first 10 or 12 in the field there. Kevin Smith of Middleton AC running very well at the moment, but that's the lead man now. Sanders Ballintotis, a winner in Cove last Sunday of the 10-mile road race, the Great Island 10 mile, just passing the castle. James McCarthy, last year's winner in close pursuit, and already it's very visible that they have opened up quite a considerable gap on the chasing field. A couple of Leevale athletes in there as well. As see Brian Hegarty running through there as well, and amongst the chasing pack there are John Shine and Roy Fahey, of course, winner of the Cork City Marathon previously. That's Mark Dalton just going through there. Coming up now towards the 1 mile mark here in Ballintotis, and Sanders Ballintotis and James McCarthy, as they have been since the off, really pretty much in isolation now already, and marking down their intent on this race. Behind them, Silvio O'Mahony, local man, just passing through there. That's a great landmark here in Ballintotis, the castle, and Mark Welsh passing through. Sally Drennan again. Lots of well-known faces, regulars at many of the races here. John Quigley from Eagle AC, a great fundraiser. Young Killian Nolan wearing the vest of Youghal Athletic Club passing through there as well. The Youghal vest very distinguishable there, the green and white hoops. The maroon of East Cork passing through as well, and the white with the black and green hoop of Middleton Athletic Club passing through as well there. So the vast ranks just heading out towards the 1 mile mark here in Ballintotis as James McCarthy and Sanders Ballintotis continue to set the pace. In the ladies' race as well, it's noticeable that Ronan Lynch last year's winner going well, so is Niamh Rowe. There's Jory Ford, just I would imagine about to be swallowed up about the 1.5 mile mark here in Ballintotis by the first runners. James McCarthy and Sanders Ballintotis still very much in close company as they pass Jory Ford. Heading down now about 1.5 miles into this race. Meantime, back at the Castellet, or original camera point, very noticeable as well. The runners making their way up here. They've travelled just over a half mile at this stage in the course, levelling out at this stage. They've gone over the hill at the start. And here's Sanders again, the West Waterford man. He's made a great impact, the Latvian native, since he came to these shores, along with his fellow Latvian runners, Diditis Klava and Rava Sakis. Both of them, as well as Sanders, have been very conspicuous at races over the last number of years. Sanders still leading them then as they take the turn there, heading to the 2 mile mark. Sanders and James McCarthy, they're certainly running inside 5 minute mile pace at the moment, behind the chasing pack. Amongst them, Chris Harrington, John Shine, and Roy Fahy of East Cork AC there as well. Brian Haggerty, former East Cork AC man, now with Leavelle Athletic Club. Frank Hayes, James Grufferty from Leavelle Athletic Club also involved there, and Kieran Lane as well. Leavelle Athletes very much to the fore here, but certainly I think the destination of the top prize is between the top 2 men at the moment. As we watch the rest of the field, that's John Hennessy just taking the turn there, approaching the 2 mile mark here, the halfway stage. Likely that the next mile will probably be the fastest, looking overall, probably the 3rd mile, the fastest overall in the course here in Ballintotis. Mark Dalton having a great season on the running scene, just going through there as well, heading towards the 2 mile mark. The field beginning to become a little bit stretched out. Our camera point here at the bend, we'll see them coming along now, and certainly in their droves, as we said, in the region of over 500 runners here this evening, maybe heading towards 550 before we get the final figures here. David Dwyer of East Cork Athletic Club, Ronan Lynch, last year's winner, going through there, the ladies winner going through, followed by Dennis McCarthy of East Cork AC as well, well up front again. Certainly Dennis is always in these races, very prominent competitor there. You can see Joey Ford availing of a slight little decline there, I'm sure, which will be welcome to him as well as he takes the corner and heads towards the 2 mile mark. Meantime, up front at the head of affairs, they've passed the 2 mile mark. James McCarthy and Sanders Ballintotis now moving very much shoulder to shoulder. The Shanahan family there with some refreshments out, helping the runners along the way. James on the left as we look at it, Sanders on the inside, straightening up now. They're well into their 3rd mile here in Ballintotis, and as you can see, no one really in sight. These runners just approaching the 2 mile mark, further back the field again as we see them approaching. It's a perfect evening for running. Last evening there was a bit of an easterly breeze in the faces of the runners where they would be turning this corner, but it's really, really dead calm here this evening. Still quite warm, I would say 13, 14 degrees even at this hour of the evening. But the two up front, certainly inside 20-minute pace. Remember last year, James McCarthy won it with a time of 19:54, and he's made the decisive break, it looks like. James McCarthy, as they turn away there and approach the 3rd mile mark, James McCarthy has made the break now ahead of Sanders Ballintotis. So could that be significant? Certainly last year's winner, looking now for back-to-back successes since then. James has had a magnificent year on the running scene. He finished 5th in the Ballycotton 10, going well as he heads up towards Lockadera Lake. The runners will skirt Lockadera Lake as they come up now towards the main M25 here, where, as always, right around the course here at Ballintotis, fantastic involvement from the stewards and from the Gardaí as well, out in force. This has been a fantastic effort by all aspects of the local community, and James McCarthy will be getting the cheers of the faithful who have parked there as he strides out, heading now towards the turn, which will bring him into sight of the 400 metre mark. James McCarthy heading then with 400 metres to go, looking odds on to be the winner of the Ballintotis 4 in 2011. Here he is heading towards the finish line. The finishing tape is out to welcome James McCarthy of East Cork Athletic Club. Yet another significant success for the man from Lisgould, having a wonderful year and a wonderful season overall. He breaks the tape in 19 minutes and 34 seconds, and that is a fantastic achievement. That is some running. Breaking 20 minutes is a fine achievement, but breaking it comfortably with 26 seconds to spare is very, very significant. As you can see, there's a good gap back, almost 20 seconds to Samuel Ballintotis. He stops his watch at 19:54. We'll be looking back for the next runner. They're not going to break the 20-minute mark. It's going to be Chris Harrington, it looks like, the Leevale man, coming in there in third position there in 20:47, and now they're starting to come thick and fast. John Shine, Noel Cotton, local man, coming in there. Great run for Noel. That'll see him certainly in the prizes and the categories as well. Runners starting to come in now at a fair clip here. Meantime, the winner, James McCarthy, recovering, relaxing, and intent and the knowledge, I'm sure, that he has produced a super performance here this evening. Roy Fahy in 5th position there, coming in as well. Meantime, back on the main road, there is still plenty of activity down the field and plenty of prizes. We pick up Niamh Rowe leading the way. That's Mark Bullman there from Dunamore Athletic Club, one of the great campaigners, just gone through there at the moment. And as we see some more of the group coming through, these would be heading in for about a 25-minute finish, just maybe marginally over it at the moment. That's Willie O'Riordan from St. Brendan's. Niamh Walsh ran a great race in the ladies last year, running about 3rd or 4th lady at the moment. We can also see Declan Dorgan just gone through there from Middleton Athletic Club. A bit of space now as they come. Emmett Foley, local man. Ivor Knowles, another local man there, having a great run. Ivor Knowles there ran last year, and he looks like to be in for about a 26-minute finish here. As more of the runners just come into view here. Still a beautifully fine evening. That's Shawnee Muffy, one of the organisers in chief. Certainly has put his heart and soul into this race over the last number of weeks. Joey Ford there again, just mingling with the competitors there. Plenty of company for Jory along the way. Young Patrick Carey, that looks like, from Carrytool, who's running very well in this race as well. And now we see John Welch, famous John Welch from Ballycotton, of course, and from Ballycotton Running Promotions and East Cork Athletic Club, who's done great work as well in preparing for this race. Tom O'Neill going past there in the lake on the main road circuit. There's the light just shading a little bit here as we see the runners coming into the finish line here. That's Niamh Rowe just coming through to win the ladies race. That's a great performance by Niamh Rowe, winning the ladies race in 23:27. The Leevale athlete. More runners coming in there now. Mark Bullman just checking his watch as well as he comes in. Mark enjoying a fine season as well. And they'll be coming in now. Willie Hayes, great campaigner. Alan Kelly just crossing the line there. Willie O'Riordan, we saw earlier on back at the lake, finishing strongly as well, probably in the prizes here as well. There'll be a lot of activity now in the next couple of minutes as we head in to where a lot of the field will be coming through. We're coming through, maybe the first 100 or so runners have maybe coming towards the line at this stage, but more to come there. Fergal Cotton, All-Ireland champion, of course, cross-country champion. Fergal Cotton, son of Noel Cotton, just crossing the line. Ivor Knowles crossing the line. So we're picking up the runners at various sectors of the field here. Great crowd participation as well. They're getting plenty of encouragement here as they come through from the large. Following that, Sylvia O'Mahony, a good run by Sylvia as well. Colin Barry, another Ballintotis man, just coming through there, and everybody delighted just to have completed the field here, just have completed the course. Shawnee Muffy crossing the line there as well, and certainly they'll be in need, maybe some of them, of refreshments, and there's water supplied at the finish line for them as well, and they'll be glad of that. Maybe some of them, the runners indeed, out the course still with a lot of running to do, particularly some of those maybe who will be running a race for maybe one of the first occasions here this evening. Brian Healy crossing the line. Here we see Joey Ford just coming through, and John O'Leary has crossed the line, and Donny O'Connell, after running 27 consecutive Ballycotton 10s, has made it. That's Anne-Marie Perry coming through to the finish line, just checking the watch there as well. Meantime, already the water and the t-shirts have been received as well. The water station was busy, and so will the refreshment station be busy here as well. A great community effort by the local organising committee here. It's time now for the presentation of prizes.
The winner of the Ballintotis 4-mile road race, a man that has been in fantastic form since he ran here last year and won the inaugural 4-mile race in Ballintotis. He actually beat his time from 12 months ago from East Cork Athletic Club, the host and promoting club. A big round of applause for James McCarthy. So congratulations to James McCarthy, clocking a time of 19 minutes and 34 seconds. That's some clipping around here this evening in perfect weather conditions. Well done, James. And so to the winner of the 2011 Ballintotis 4-mile road race in terms of the ladies category, again from Eagle Athletic Club, in a great time of 23 minutes and 27 seconds. Your race winner is Niamh Rowe. We're really promoting the Cycle to Work scheme here in Ballintotis. A bicycle for the winning lady and the winning man, both kindly sponsored by Trebalgan Holiday Centre.
A wonderful camera team all around the course. We'll thank them all. Deirdre Barry, Eamon Barry, who was the man that was travelling in the head van. Ursula Barry as well, very much to the fore, with Trish Daly getting them just before the 2 mile mark, and Josie Knowles there at the castle stage, along with Martin Preston just towards the castle area as well. And